How to invest in an Airbnb with no money. Is it possible? 100%. In this video, I can show you how to walk in with none of your own cash and start your Airbnb empire, if you will. Now, I've got other videos on how to get going with the Airbnbs and all that fun stuff, but let's just talk about Airbnb in general and how to get in there without any money. In this video, stay to the very end. I'll show you how to capitalize on this really quickly. If you don't have a lot of money to start with right now and you want to make something happen and what you're doing right now isn't getting you, this is the video for you. But first, what you need to do, okay, it's a known fact that if you hit the like button and you hit comments and you subscribe, you're gonna get your first Airbnb in the next 30 seconds. Not true, okay? But you're gonna have fun doing that, and that's what drives this channel. That's what drives this content, so please do me a favor and start off with that. Okay, let's talk about Airbnbs. Let's talk about VRBO. Let's talk about an industry that's been around, well, I know for at least 25 years. The crazy thing is, this is not a new industry. But I think during COVID, this really exploded because people found an opportunity to go ahead and do this because people, didn't have a lot of other things to do. And they're like, oh, let's just rent something out. Okay, now I think at the point of this video, a lot of the craziness in the Airbnb, VRBO, short-term rental has left the market, which means there are a lot of people that got in the market that quite frankly shouldn't have been there. Okay, so let's talk about who should be in there. If you think you're gonna go in there and get an Airbnb with no money, you're absolutely right. If you think you're gonna go in there with no money and no work, you're absolutely wrong. Okay, it's not gonna happen. There is gonna be some work involved. Okay, so the first thing you're gonna have to do is find the market. Okay, so the most important thing, the way buying an Airbnb with none of your capital is gonna work is you have to have a strong underlying opportunity. Okay, so if I'm selling ice and I'm in Alaska in December, I'm probably not gonna have a big market. That's what I'm talking about there. So if I'm in, no offense, Minot, North Dakota, okay, looking for Airbnbs, unless there's a shale oil boom going on in that particular area, you're looking in the wrong area. So the first and foremost thing you're gonna have to do is, if your local area has got some destination deal, there's, you use an obvious one, Disneyland or Disney World, or any one of those amusement parks. National parks are huge. Who likes to camp? I do. I love camping. You know what my biggest challenge is finding camping spaces that aren't booked. Okay, so all of a sudden you got these things. There's been times where I want to go camping. We can't do it. We got to do an Airbnb. Okay, so that could be one of the opportunities there. There might be some kind of a corporate structure there. Oh, you know what? There could be a local university there. Okay, I love these big old houses in an area. Maybe there's a university there and there's housing problems, so I can rent out the rooms to locals. So there's all sorts of different ways that you can make it happen. And again, one of the factors you have with this is you've got a baby boomer population, okay, that doesn't have, no offense baby boomers, technical savviness, okay, like me. Okay, I'm actually the last year of the baby boomers, so you can kind of guess my age on that. But I love the technology, I love that out there, but most of my peers that are older, they don't get it, they don't understand that. So the opportunity to look around and go, oh, I could rent this out as a short-term rental isn't there. There's another factor, they don't know what to do with their property. They have all this equity. If they sell the property, they got a problem. Okay, they got to do something with it. If they get all the depreciation on that property, there's a tax consequence. You've got a solution. Here's what you want to do. You want to offer some creative financing. Okay, you go in there and say, hey, listen, okay, let's just say for the argument's sake, and don't argue with me, you can put in the comments of where interest rates are. They're going down as of this video being released. But let's just say they're stabilized at 5, 6, whatever. It doesn't matter what the interest rate is. If you say, hey, I'll offer you just a little above that. Okay, so you figure out what your AM schedule is on that amortization schedule. You say, hey, I'll pay you this much. We'll amortize it over a 30-year period of time. Okay, or we'll do interest only, and we'll do a balloon in say 5 years, 2 years, 3 years, whatever that might be. So that gives them an opportunity to come out of the property, but it's very important that in this contract you can buy them out at any time past a 12-month period of time. That means you have the opportunity, if things are going really well and the interest rates go to where you want them to, you can finance them out of it and maybe lower your operating costs. So that picture, what I just said right there, is going to determine the value. So let's say that this property, you want to find one that needs a little bit of elbow grease, something that needs some, maintenance and what have you. It's in the right location. You go, okay, I can get this at this price. They know that they can't sell it at that price. You offer them at that market value with some kind of favorable payment terms in your arena that you can afford. Now you go to town on this, okay? You go in there and you make that property into an Airbnb. Now, here's the other side of it is, okay, if you don't have any money on this one, I know, I can just feel Dave Ramsey going, don't do this, okay? I disagree. I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna get some 0% credit cards and I'm gonna get that property ready with some furniture. No, I am not gonna go to RC Willie or Rooms to Go and decorate that property with some IKEA, bleh, no. I'm gonna go to the Goodwill. I'm gonna go find some used games. I'm gonna make that house look homey but comfortable. I don't wanna make it look like a college dorm where nobody cleans up. I wanna make it comfortable, okay? I have been doing Airbnbs for 25 years, okay? The last thing I wanna do is go into an Airbnb that looks like IKEA just threw up in it and it's all gray and everything's matching. It just doesn't feel right. In fact, I just recently stayed at that. The first thing my daughter did when she walked in, she goes, oh, Daddy, this has no good energy. I was like, you're right. Okay, so one of the things you can do is you can go in there, furnishings and that, Habitat for Humanity. Don't spend a lot of money. Okay, you guys don't spend a lot of money. You're like, oh, 0% interest, it's a credit card. Those credit cards can usually have 12 months, 14 months, 0% interest on that. I don't even care if it's 12%. You're just borrowing that for a short period of time. So now what I want to do, as I rent that property out in my short-term budget on there, and as that cash flow starts coming in, I'm paying all that stuff out. Okay, you have to have this mentality, and I write this down. Work like no one will so you can live like no one can. Okay, if anybody tells you you can go out there and do something without any of your own capital and start producing cash immediately, it's not real. Okay, if I'm using other people's capital, I want to get that back to them as quickly as possible. Okay, so there's two factors in this. I want to pay down this loan that I've got on this piece of property or get in a position where I can buy that contract out, number one. And if I've used short-term financing, credit cards, to go ahead, oh, by the way, make sure that they have points. Make sure you're getting points on these credit cards so you get some free vacations on the other side. I want to also be very cognizant of that. So all I'm doing is paying that stuff out. I'm telling you, this is a home run. Okay, in the very beginning, this is exactly how it is. Now, I was just looking at this because I'm like, is this gonna work? Kind of a thing. So let's say that you found this market, you went in there, and you just broke even on this particular situation. You gotta look at yourself and say, where are my numbers? Where did I think wrong? But I'm breaking even because I had no capital involved in this. As soon as this capital call goes away and I pay back the $10,000 or $12,000 that I borrowed to get this property to where I needed to go, all of a sudden I got $10,000 or $12,000. Now I need to restructure this thing the next time I do a deal. Maybe I need to get a lower entry price in there. Are those deals available out there? All day long. The first thing you need to do when going into this, okay, let me tell you, when you're looking at an Airbnb, I want to look at this as how can I get into this price with these parameters so I can make money on this? Now remember, in other videos I've talked about, if it says I can get I don't know, let's say $3,000 a month in short-term rental on that property. I want to knock that down by 40%. Okay, if it makes sense at 60% of what I think I can do, then the 100% of where I think I'm going to go is there. Then it becomes a management problem. How well are you managing this property? For instance, I'm looking at properties. I'm doing 9 properties right now in a particular area. Everybody's like, this is a great area. Oh my gosh, you found these great deals. You're going to be able to get, I think it's like $682 a night with an 82% occupancy factor. And everybody starts doing this calculations like, I said, knock that down by 40%. They're, no, we can do it. I go, if we do, it's great. But let's knock it down by 40%. Because guess what? Things always happen. So what do I mean by it becomes a management issue? At that point, the better I manage this, the more money I put in that pocket. That's how business works. That's how real estate works. That's how everything works. I don't care if this is a car wash, a restaurant, or a short-term rental. The better I manage, the lower I can get my maintenance and cleaning costs, the quicker I can turn that. All of those factors go into management, okay? So once you master that, the profits start rolling into this. Look, this has only been 10 minutes. Okay, I spend at least 2 hours teaching people how to do this when we're out there in the field looking at these, at some of my other properties. If you want more information, guess what? I'll give it to you for free. I don't care. Abundance. Hit the link down below, higginsmethod.com. I got free videos on this. I've got free materials on this. Free. Hit those buttons, watch those videos, and I'll see you in the winner's circle. This is Saen Higgins saying God bless.